Tonight at 10, we're live in Ukraine, a country at war. After a huge Russian military offensive by land, sea, and air.
Some of us woke up with the explosions in their cities and towns. And the first thing we all had to do was to check if our relatives, friends, and close people are alive and safe.
Rockets are threatening all of Ukraine. Nowhere in the country is safe.
This was the hell that we did not expect. Shells were fired around our house. 5 shells in a radius of 20 meters.
Millions of Ukrainians are in search of new, safe homes.
Our owner and the chief executive officer, Theo Schnittfink, said, "You guys don't have time to think. You've got to rush to supermarkets and buy mattresses, pillows, towels, and everything that people need in the first instance to make sure that they are comfortably staying in our office."
A family from Kiev lived here, 3 adults and 2 small children. They organized the children's room. There was a children's bed, there were a lot of toys provided by Symphony Solutions.
We hosted around 200 people in our offices. Some families came with very small children. Some families came with dogs and cats, and we were keen on providing the decent conditions for everyone.
At first I saw an office that did not look like an office. It looked like a Scandinavian village, with a meal, cows and green grass, with the picnic tables. There was an atmosphere of comfort at home, like in a family. They showed me the room where we will live. This room is called Tulips. Tulips are everywhere here. Here were 2 mattresses, furniture, the feeling that you were at home. We got home. There was no feeling that it was an office. And I said, I will not leave, I stay here. I would still live here if I had the chance, because the atmosphere of Symphony Solutions is simply wonderful.
At times of shelter, the atmosphere in the office was very warm and very nice. It was also provided by our CEO, Theo, who on his own initiative crossed the border on foot, stayed in the big queues, and spent several days in our office. He was sleeping in one of the meeting rooms on the mattress just to feel the experience of people who went through this nightmare and support them as much as he could.
In such a difficult time of war, when we were without a home, when we lost our jobs, we were given the opportunity to live and feel that we are needed, that they care about us, and we believed that all problems would pass. Maybe not easy, but much easier than it could have been.
So speaking of brave women, a group of Ukrainian women are documenting the Russian invasion with pictures and videos. They're doing it to, quote, show the world the horrors. Their group is called Italian, and if you check out their Twitter feed, they've got videos showing the aftermath of an air raid on a Ukrainian school.
Symphony Solutions with this project Italian from the very beginning, and our marketing team, were contributing in different ways, like we launched the website and the social media channels, and many other work were done. The main idea from the very beginning of this project was to spread the truth through the world, because as you know, the war nowadays is not only war like on the front line, but it is also informational war. This database is like a live proof for war crimes that anyone who would like can access it and see it, check it every day from the very beginning. It is structurized, easy to understand, easy to find, easy to search, to browse, and to use.
Do you think that you are putting yourself in danger when you go out to get these images?
I'm not afraid, you know. I'm more afraid to lose my country, my people, my friends, my relatives.
We are very proud of our achievements because this database were downloaded more than a few million times, our videos and footages. A lot of Western media were interested to cooperate with our database. Informational channels like Fox News, NBC, and Harper's Bazaar, Time, etc.
Detalion across all social media. Many of the images were too graphic for us to put on television this morning, including pictures of children who have been killed. But the moms hope that ultimately those images reach U.S. politicians to influence them to support a no-fly zone.
We were mentioned and featured in many times in their articles and news. And also we had several meetings with Congress of USA, and I hope this anyway contributed somehow in helping Ukraine.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has ordered a full military mobilization after Russian forces entered Ukraine and launched a military operation. Zelensky says the mobilization will last 90 days.
More than 10 symphonians decided to leave their normal lives behind, very exciting projects and nice clients, to join the army and fight for our homeland.
We didn't know anything about war, like what our guys, the needs in general. All my friends who were in army, they asked that they don't have, for example, common things like vests with some protection, like helmets and stuff like that. We create kind of community and started to work. Personally, I was mostly focused on like armor stuff. It was also not very easy because, as I said, it was completely new for us sphere. But through the internet, we have a lot of friends abroad, and they try to find something, and it becomes easier and easier. I understood at some point that I can buy like really good things, better than our army has, and it can even protect the life of our soldier. I propose to have this kind of project on Symphony Solutions for all people who want to join the army or who was mobilized, to provide this ability to buy like armor vest, helmet, first aid, all like the main important thing for the protection of our soldiers. I was really like thankful for our CEO that agreed with it, and they agreed the budget for this. So we currently, how we were doing it, we just was buying like several kind of stuff for example, for 4 or 3 or 4 person like in advance. And then if we have someone mobilized, we easily provide everything because we've already had it.
Дуже вдячний Symphony Solutions за підтримку і морально, і матеріально, можна сказати. Тому що, як би не було, фірма продовжує мені виплачувати кошти. На перших порах фірма видала мені спальний мішок, і подушку, і аптечку спакувала, і каремати, що дуже мене виручило в перші дні. Наразі відчуваю вашу підтримку, вашу турботу. Ви постійно намагаєтесь зі мною зв'язатися, щось, якісь запитання, чимось допомогти. Надію, що так буде і надалі. Що, ще раз всім привіт і до швидкої перемоги.
It's really cool stuff because it's much easier to wear, the weight is smaller and stuff like that. But besides of it, we also have a lot of projects that, for example, for tactile medicine, we supported not just the personal people, but group of people and even guys we didn't know. It's not only for symphonians.
At Symphony, we support our warriors in many different ways. In early September, we decided to organize a charity auction, at which symphonians brought lots of very authentic, handmade things.
На цьому 1000 гривень – це справді ніжність, речі із самого ніжа. Раз, 1000 гривень стартова ціна, хто більше? Давайте поговоримось, 2000 гривень одразу. Дякую, 3000 гривень.
that helped us to gather more than 300,000 hryvnias that was spent on the most critical things needed by our guys on battlefields.
Any kind of support were really important, and I also think that there are no small or huge support. It's like if you, for example, provide, I don't know, 10% of your salary, it's not the same that I will provide 10% or someone else, but it's still very important in general.
We begin in Ukraine, where a senior government official says up to 13,000 members of his country's armed forces have been killed since the start of the Russian invasion.
Unfortunately, Symphony also has its losses in this brutal war. We lost one of our dear colleagues, a very nice man, the lead of recruitment in Ukraine, Roman Shevchenko. He used to be a very cheerful, very kind-hearted, and very joyful man. He was a real friend to all of us, and that's a big, big pity to see how people miss him in the team. And what I wanted to say is a big thank you to Roman for defending our lives and for fighting for our homeland.
Every day we continue to pay with lives, pain and tears of bringing victory closer, with the lives of our people, our heroes, whom we lose in battles, with the lives of our heroes who take life and death risks every day to save as many of our soldiers and civilians as possible.
War cripples Ukrainians every day. Severe mine and explosive injuries, gunshot wounds, burns. By trains and ambulances, people are brought to the National Rehabilitation Center unbroken. It works on the basis of the First Medical Union of Lviv, the largest medical institution in Ukraine. Since February, Unbroken has received more than 7,000 injured Ukrainians. They are military and civilians, adults and children, 300 children, 80,000 displaced people.
So the main trigger and an idea about Unbroken is the fact that this is giving our country an opportunity to give medical treatment and all the needed operations and help in Ukraine, locally in our country, and people are not supposed to travel abroad and look for help somewhere outside.
Кількість пацієнтів у нас зростає.
The number of our patients is growing. We are currently working hard to expand our rehabilitation department. There is a need for additional equipment. We have to rebuild the premises for the special needs of patients.
Власне, під потреби наших пацієнтів.
So we purchased an equipment that is helping people to recover after operations, after some damages and being wounded, so that they start learning how to move again, how to walk, how to raise their hands. So this is related to movement and rehabilitation after some heavy treatments. About prosthesis, the Esper bionic one, the idea behind this is raise a hand for help, and it's covering two directions. First, we were purchasing these prostheses for our people, for Ukrainians, but the thing is that this is also produced by Ukrainian companies. That means we are kind of supporting two directions. And there is much bigger mission behind this, because those two first prostheses that were installed to first two people here in Ukraine opened the whole fund and awareness of many other people that this is possible in Ukraine, and many other people kind of joined the wave of donating, supporting, buying also other prostheses, building the whole factory of producing prostheses in the hospital on site. So these two hands and the stories we will share as well, they are not just a matter of two people, it's just a matter of bigger mission of making people aware that something like this exists in Ukraine, is possible, and encouraging also other companies, other organizations to donate, to support and to contribute. So we plan to continue and not to stop. The whole profit that we make from Ukrainians is planned for medical direction here in Ukraine. We want to purchase more equipment, and usually when needs are popping up, like prostheses or something different, doctors know that we are available and they are just reaching out to us. We are making it as a short project, build a plan, execute, and so do it incrementally, one by one, on demand.
Stand by Ukraine Foundation is something we have been really working for a long time. But the first idea came in 2014 when the first intervention happened, and we as a company, we couldn't stand aside and we actually did a lot of support. But now in 2022, in February, almost from the first days, we were thinking like, really, we have to make this long term. It's going to be a serious work, and we reached to our clients, we reached to the audience in the West, we reached to Symphonians, and together with the joint efforts, I'm really, really happy. We managed since February raise over 900,000 euros, and a big part, of course, it was us as a company, Symphony, donating our profits from Ukrainian part of the business, and of course our colleagues supported us with this, and our clients. And I want to particularly emphasize OM Partners. It's our Belgium client. They really contributed a very generous amount to this fund. The fund resources we mainly allocate for purchasing medical equipment and all humanitarian needs that Ukrainian people will have at a specific time. Rebuild UA, it's a great project together with our client Covismo, and it creates a satellite imaging foundation for infrastructure damaging across the Ukraine. And I think in future, when the time comes when we are finally working on restoring Ukraine, this will be a very strong, proven foundation for the reports of this infrastructure damaging, for the authorities, for the foundations, and for the specialized organization in this field. We dream that this nightmare war will be finished soon. And of course, even after it's over, the consequences of it will last for generations. And we will have to rebuild the country across all the sectors. And the aim of the fund is to continue its existence after the war is over. Today, we ask you to keep on supporting Ukraine. We understand it must be tiring after 1 year of battle, but we are all tired, including us Ukrainians, and we cannot win this war without your continuous support.